Hello, everyone, and welcome to our October Fireside Chat. We are so happy that you have joined us today. This is a really, really important chat that you've decided to join with us. And we have some very special guests here today who are going to help us through one of the things that will absolutely put your mind at ease when it comes to your animals and your legacy. And it could be the most impactful decision you make for animals in your whole life. It's something that I've had the pleasure of doing myself. I can attest to how easy this is. But nevertheless, we do have Nicole Walton and Catie Martino of FreeWill, and they don't just come and do this for anyone. They are here for you in defense of animal supporters. So I want to say a big thank you to our guests, FreeWill, here today. And before we start our presentation, I want to kind of give some advice on the kind of language that we'll be using, because if you are an In Defense of Animal supporter, you will know that we are big proponents of language and how that affects how we think about animals, what kind of rights we give to animals. And so we always think of ourselves as guardians of animals, never owners. However, in the law, animals are unfortunately still classed as property. So please bear that in mind. And some of the language that we use will not be consistent with our current campaigns. Pet trusts is another one, which I'm sure many of you are here to hear about, and how you can plan for your beloved companions or your beloved bundles of joy, in the case of Catie. That's how she refers to her little ones. But yes, we will be using that kind of terminology for our dear animal companions. As always, you are welcome to start saying hello in the chat. Let us know where you're joining from. The chat is open for you. Drop in your questions there. Anything that we don't cover during the presentation, we will cover during the Q&A at the end. So without further ado, I would like to introduce Catie Martino, who is going to present for us today. Thank you, Catie.
Thanks, everyone. I think I'm going to jump in floor. Catie, are you going to get us started?
Yes, so sorry. Lost you on my
Perfect.
screen for a little bit, but yep, my screen should be shared. Can y'all see everything?
Yeah.
Wonderful. Thank you so much for having us today.
Yeah, thanks everyone for having us. I get the privilege of introducing myself first. So it is my pleasure to be here. And first of all, I want to thank In Defense of Animals for helping us make this possible. We are so excited to be here working with all of y'all and chatting with you and answering your questions. I'm Nicole Walton, and I am Senior Director of Major and Planned Gift Strategies at FreeWill. Basically, what that means is I've spent a lot of time working in nonprofits, and FreeWill gives me the privilege of taking that experience and bringing it forward in moments like this. I am based in Phoenix. I worked with many nonprofits over almost 30 years. So I've done a lot of this sort of conversations around how to make estate planning a part of philanthropy and how to care for those that we love as part of that estate planning. I love FreeWill because it does allow us to do some really amazing things for folks. It creates a platform where we all can make easy estate plans. And I actually helped a bunch of family members make their estate plans through FreeWill. So I do believe in the platform. And I just teased a fun fact, but I actually have been a fundraiser and working in nonprofits for almost 30 years. And my daughter, not my fur baby, but my actual daughter was named after a wolf based in Minnesota. Catie?
Oh, wow, Nicole. I always learn something new about you. Hi, everyone. My name is Catie Martino. I work closely with Bob and Nicole at In Defense of Animals. So we've had our partnership together for a few years. I am also based in Phoenix. And I love free will, and something that is really near and dear to my heart is working at nonprofits for since I got out of college. And so the ability to be at FreeWill and be able to support nonprofits in every sector, specifically the animal sector. I love so much because, as a kid growing up, I always wanted to, be a veterinarian, work with animals. And so now I'm lucky to work with um, organizations across the world or that impact, animals across the world for the better. All right. Yeah, for our agenda today, we'll jump into what is free will. We'll also talk about, why a plan is important for you and your loved ones. Why leaving a legacy gift is so easy. I'll also be doing a demo of the tool as well. And then at the end, we'll have some next steps and a Q&A.
Thank you, Catie. So I'll jump in now and carry us for the next part of this to give a little bit of background. First of all, to emphasize, we're not here to give legal advice or tax advice. So it's going to be really important that you know your specific needs and talk with an advisor. Our amazing colleagues at In Defense of Animals can offer general information about how planned gifts can impact the mission and the work that's being done each and every day. But we always want you to consult your tax advisor or your attorney for very specific details related to your situation. All right. So, what is free will? One of the reasons we're here today is that In Defense of Animals has really worked very hard to make sure that estate planning is accessible and available to all supporters. So to accomplish this, we're excited that they've chosen to partner with us at FreeWill to help make this possible for each and every one of you. So what exactly is free will? Free will, so please keep in mind, Catie and I are working on two different screens, so we'll navigate the choreography a little bit. FreeWill is a social impact tech company that created a free and easy to use online will writing tool. This tool the website allows you to write your legal will or a revocable trust in about 30 minutes, and it costs you nothing. And when we say it costs you nothing, that means it won't ask you for a credit card number. It truly is free. And so we encourage all of you to take a look and give it a try. We know that many folks have hesitated to move into the estate planning because of a fear that it's going to be complex, confusing. It's even intimidating to people. Before I drafted my own using FreeWill, I thought the same thing. But FreeWill set out to build a simple tool that anyone can use from your home to create your estate planning documents. And the tool is warm, it's intuitive, and again, it's free. And so going through In Defense of Animals, you'll have access directly to those amazing FreeWill tools that you can use to draft your legal will. You'll finish the process completely online, at the end of which you'll be instructed to print your documents, and they are legally valid in each state. So all of our wills are specifically tailored to your jurisdiction. And once that all is done, you simply store it, keep it safe for your executor or your personal representative, and you've done all that you need to do to protect your family, your heirs, your trusted companions, and any charity that you've chosen to incorporate. Next slide, please. Okay. Thank you, Catie. Sorry. Okay. I don't know why I was having trouble with my screen. Okay, so adding a charity to your will is now super easy thanks to FreeWill. We believe that the human instinct is to do good, and that is why FreeWill was created, to make it possible to do good as a part of your estate planning. As of this year's August, we have over $12.7 billion that have been committed to nonprofits all over the world, primarily in the US, through the FreeWill platform. The platform is free, as we've talked about, but please know that you can include organizations like In Defense of Animals in your plan, but whether you choose to do that or not, the use of the tool is free. In Defense of Animals is making sure you have access to use this tool for free. Furthermore, FreeWill has been trusted by almost 1 million users, and 98% of those who've used it would recommend us to a friend. So we encourage you to check out the reviews, check out our pages on the Better Business Bureau to really know that this platform can be used and you can trust this platform. Next slide, please.
Yep, 1 second. There we go.
Perfect. All right. So what we're going to do now is talk a little bit about, having an essential plan. So having a plan, as you know, is a vital, important step for Americans. We here at FreeWill really believe having that will can really help you accomplish many goals as part of your will and your planning. So first of all, laying out a clear plan for how your assets are distributed. We want to make sure that you are the ones making decisions for your assets, your loved one, and all of the folks and your trusted and beloved pets around you, so that you're doing the right things for them. We want you to make those decisions, not the government. We also know that it's important for you to protect your spouse, your children, your heirs, and we want you to protect those animals that you care for. And that includes naming a trusted caretaker, designating funds for care, just making sure exactly what you would want to have happen to your companions are in fact happening to your instructions. And we also want to make sure that you have the ability to do this without undue burden on your family members. This is an opportunity. The probate process can be a complicated one for executors, and so having these instructions in place really help you get ahead of the needs of your family, your animals, your children, your heirs, and lets you create a legacy with your nonprofit trusted charities as well. Next slide, please. So we've said this a couple times. The FreeWill tool is free. There's no cost to you. You can do it from the comfort of your home. When you use the tool, it does create a legal will or a legal revocable living trust. It can be paired with an attorney. So if you have a more complex estate plan or more complex needs, we definitely encourage you to use the FreeWill platform, get your initial thoughts and drafts on paper, and then take that and work with an attorney, a trusted estate planner and a trusted attorney. We really encourage folks to incorporate animals. This is important because, and it can be done very easily using our revocable living trust flow or our will. And it allows you again to name a caretaker, name that individual who's going to ensure the care of your companion is maintained just as you would if you were here. Our tools and the revocable living trust option are available to residents in all 50 states and the District of Columbia on our free tool. So at the end of this, we'll give you the link to make sure you have that as well. Next slide. So we're going to jump into some easy ways to create a legacy. Okay, thank you for clicking through, Catie.
No problem.
Okay, so here we go. We had lots of clicks on here, y'all. So what are plan gifts? Really, let's getting down to the nitty gritty. Plan gifts are a way for you to create, it's a flexible way to create support and encouragement for your loved ones and charity. Generally, plan gifts are gifts that are created now, they're established now, and they get distributed at a later date. They can be funded in many different ways. So will and revocable trust are the things we're going to really kind of dig in on now. They lay out a clear plan for how your estates are distributed. They protect those that are closest to you. and they create a pathway to the peace of mind for the care of the animals in your life. They can be funded with cash, equities, personal property, real estate. So there's several different kinds of estate plans and planned gifts. Again, we're going to talk about a couple really specifically. They can be directed to a specific program, a specific fund, and we really like to highlight that they can be made in memory of loved ones, and they can incorporate charities, your favorite charitable causes as well. Perfect. So there's lots of different ways to think about this. A bequest can be made through your living trust. It can go out in the form of cash, so a specific amount or a specific percent. It can also go out and be in the form of real estate, but those can also be used to fund your estate plan. So in this case, we're talking about the funding. You can name charity as a primary beneficiary, which we refer to as first in line. That means in the same token as you might consider your loved ones, your personal heirs, your pet companions, you can also name charities in that line. They can also be a contingent beneficiary. So that means second or third. So once all of your family heirs, your first in line heirs are named and those distributions are satisfied, then you can name a charity to receive a portion of that. Through a will or revocable trust, these are fairly easy to change, especially using the FreeWill platform. So we really want to encourage you to use that FreeWill platform. And a will and a revocable trust are really good for folks who want to make an enduring impact. We want long-term impact on our legacy, but we want to retain control right now. So maintaining control of our assets during our lifetime. This is a gift option that costs nothing now. So really what we're looking at now is your intentions, your future support. And wills and revocable trusts are really great ways to protect the animals in your life by appointing a caretaker, appointing a guardian, and making sure that you can create an animal care fund to make sure the funds that are necessary to care for our companions are available to those guardians and those caretakers. All right, so another appealing option is a beneficiary designation. These are similar and can accomplish some of the same things as a will or trust, but these are for assets that pass outside of a will. So these are for things like a retirement account, a 401k, an IRA, payable on death, bank or brokerage accounts, donor advised funds, life insurance policies. These are generally created and administered by signing a designation form on the policy itself. So if you have any of these, it's a great idea to make sure that you've updated any beneficiaries on those forms. This is also good for folks who want to make an enduring impact on charity, want to make sure you're retaining control of assets, but you don't want to make future changes to a will. So these are assets you can pass outside of that probate process without making changes to a will, without making changes to a trust. And again, it costs nothing now. The other piece that's important to know here is this is not where you're going to designate caretakers and guardians of your loved ones and your pet companions. So these are definitely used in a different way. They pass outside of probate and outside of a will, but they're really important to keep in mind as you're establishing the assets that you hold, and to be able to make sure that anything you do provide for in your estate plan, you have the assets to cover those gifts. So now I'm going to turn it over to Catie to walk through a demo of the Will platform. Thanks for bearing with our choreography. But I'm going to go through and also take a look at some of the questions that were dropped so that we're ready for those as well. Catie, take it away.
Awesome. Thank you so much. Can everyone see the screen? Yep.
Yep.
Amazing. Thank you so much. So I will be walking through the will making tool. You can find this link on In Defense of Funds or In Defense of Animals website and through our follow-up emails and outreach that we send for planned giving. So you'll see right when we click onto the In Defense of Animals tool, you'll see this pop-up that has the ability to click right into starting your will, or you have the ability to create a free revocable living trust. I have this pulled up right here just to kind of overview it. If you're interested in making one, I highly recommend going to this page, reading through if this is what's best for you. We have a lot of education and a lot of information about revocable living trusts on this site as well. But today I am going to be focusing on just the will making tool. So clicking out of the pop-up, we'll be able to see just how nice and clean and direct the FreeWill platform is. You can start your will right here, or if you already have an estate plan with in defense of animals in it and you've left a gift to them, you can use this form here to let them know. As we scroll down on our site, you'll be able to see just how easy and simple it is to create an estate plan with FreeWill. And down here, we have how FreeWill works. So this is really managing your expectations, letting you know what to expect and where do you start when you're creating a will on FreeWill. You can also pair FreeWill with an attorney. So if you do have a complex family situation or something that you just want to create and then have pair it with, again, an attorney, you can do that as well. You'll see another part of that in our will as well. Scrolling down here, we have frequently asked questions that people typically ask. Um, do we have any other end of life documents? Can I change my will? And if you still have more questions, we have a whole learning section, help center, and you can contact us. So for the sake of time, I've already logged into my account, but just know that when you click and get into Get Started Now, you'll have an opportunity to enter all of your basic information, your email, and you'll set up a password. And then you'll receive a verification email, which then you can, get started on your will. So like I said, I have mine pulled up, and as you'll see at the top, we have clear and easy steps. So you know exactly what to expect. You'll know what part of the process you're at, and you can always go back to any of these sections. So as you can see, I did enter in all of my basic details and information. I'll call these out as we go through the will making process as well, but we have these native help buttons. So providing your information, if you're asking why do you need this, those native help buttons will give you more insight. And then as we get into, executors, digital executors, things like that, those native help buttons will give you more insight as to who the best person is to designate as your executor. We're just walking through basic information still, marital status, choosing, whatever is for you. You can also add your spouse's name. We have an opportunity to, record any children you may have. So if you have children, you can enter them in here. If they're under the age of 18, you can also designate a child's guardian if they are a minor. Alrighty, so while we're in this nominees section, again, this is an incredible resource that I love and I use with my little bundle back there. If you can see him, that's Ramsey. He's always sleeping. So you'll see that I have added my companions, my family members to my will. Um, you know, I've added them, and then I have another one. She wasn't camera ready today, so she's not with us. But I have my two family members listed here. And again, if you have any questions of, you know, do you have any animals you'd like to put in your will, then you can designate a fund for them. Again, I love this native help button because it helps you think of the expenses that you want to keep in mind if you're not there to support your family member. And then you do have an opportunity to list who should be responsible for taking care of them if you pass away. So this can be a spouse, a family member, neighbor, friend, anyone that you trust with, your loved ones. So you'll see we've already jumped to the assets section. So this is, again, we're cruising right through. It's super easy to walk through recording your assets, and it's nice and clean. And again, you can always go back and edit these sections. So in our assets, this first page is the opportunity to either list out your assets or you can estimate them. For time purposes, I'm just going to estimate them for now. And then, like I said, we recommend or you have the ability to pair FreeWill with a financial advisor. Here you have an opportunity to, chat with another advisor. If you don't have one and you'd like to meet one, FreeWill can pair you with one. Um, you can add their information or no, you're not ready. The second part of our assets page is the approximate total value of assets distributed in your will. Again, everyone is different. This is going to be what fits with your situation. You can have these ranges you'll see, and I'm going to stick with that 200 to 500. And great. This is a super exciting page that we've landed on. So you'll see we're almost halfway through with our planning of our will. So like I said, this is an exciting page because this is where you can choose to um, decide if IDA is going to be a part of your estate plan. I know IDA would love for you to consider it because this is a great free resource for y'all. It's completely optional, but would love for you to consider it. If you do want to leave a legacy gift to indefensive animals, you'll click right here. And you'll see we have different opportunities of how to leave a gift. You can leave a percentage of your residual estate, um, or you can leave a fixed cash amount. So that can be any amount of your choice. And you can always leave a message to indefensive animals as well. So I'm going to click that 10% and save and exit. You'll see here, you always can see that summary of your gifts to nonprofits. You'll see the summary come up again just to ensure that, there's no extra noise. It's a very seamless process and you always know where you're at as you're working through it. Alrighty, so with your primary beneficiaries, so I already left or designated that 10% to IDA. So now I have the remainder of my estate to designate. You can leave this to a spouse or someone that was listed as a beneficiary for you, or you can create a custom plan. Again, these native help buttons are really great to just remind yourself, all right, what step am I at? What does this mean? What am I leaving? So I'm just going to leave mine to my spouse. With your secondary beneficiaries, this is an opportunity to, leave if my spouse were to predecease me. Who's second in line, essentially. You can leave this to a charity. You'll see here, I'm going to leave mine to indefensive animals. Leave a little note. And the allocation always will add up to 100%. Lastly, takers of last resort. So if everyone that you've named in your estate plan can't accept the gift for whatever reason, then what's going to happen to your assets? If all else fails, takers of last resort is who should I leave everything to? So you can again leave that to charity. You'll see, I already had in defense of animals filled out here. You can leave that to your heirs, or again, you can create that custom plan. Uh, and again, just as that reminder, what is, takers of last resort. Amazing. All right. So you could see that was really easy, super painless to walk through and designate those beneficiaries. Again, you have that summary of your residuary distribution here, and you can always edit it. So, like I said, we're halfway through, and again, you have multiple opportunities to review this info. So next we'll jump into gifts. So gifts are what you can leave in form of real estate, vehicles, cash, um, anything that you want to leave as to a beneficiary specifically. I have a few of these just as examples already filled out. So who would I leave, my card to? You can leave this to a spouse, a tennis bracelet. You can leave it to a charity, and then properties, again, you can leave that um, to family members as well. It's super easy. You'll just click add property. You have a drop down here. You'll choose one of those, fill it out, and you'll see it again populate in this list of property. Funeral wishes. So now we're on the section where you can choose to include wishes for your funeral and final resting place. This is a really great section to have because it does really nail down your wishes in this process. So you'll designate who's responsible for carrying out your funeral and final resting place. That can be spouse, family member, anyone that you would like to designate. You also have wishes for your service. Again, that is up to you as well as your final resting place. Um, we also have a really great opportunity to choose any charities you'd like your loved ones to support in your memory. So, for example, in lieu of flowers, leave a gift to In Defense of Animals. Alrighty. So now we're at our executors, our provisions section, executors of your will. So this is where we are just kind of walking through who will see, who will see your will out. You'll see that we have help of nominating an executor. Again, we're making this super easy and digestible because this is a really big decision. They should be able to follow these duties. This is the type of person you would want to, select as an executor. Digital executors. So, in today's world, we have our computers, our phones, our digital photos, our email accounts. Sometimes that might not, the person that you would like to download all of that, close out those accounts for you, might be someone different than your will executor. So we have a digital executor. If you would like to nominate someone different, then that is an opportunity to do that as well to manage those digital assets. All right. So our no contest clause or contest clause, this is a provision that discourages challenges to your estate. Again, I recommend reading more about this if this is something you want to choose. Again, whatever your situation entails, just know that this native help button will give you more information of if you'd like to include that clause in your estate plan. We are almost done. Can you believe it? Supporting nonprofits. So I know this is something that I really just do want to call out for In Defense of Animals. You can share your contact information with the charities in your plan or remain anonymous. Remember, even if you share your contact information, IDA can make sure that you remain publicly anonymous, but this is for, this wonderful organization to know who you are. Lastly, we do have the self-proving affidavit. Um, Again, this is something I would recommend looking into if this is what you would like to add or not. We also have independent administration. You'll see while this will making site is super thorough, it's really easy to get through and to read. So depending on what state you're in, there is independent administration of estates. So this is again giving those specific states that supervision. Personal statement. So this is where you can use your document to add in, a letter for loved ones, additional messages. Where I what I like to use this space as is for any personal information or information about how to care for your companions. So you can, leave directions here. You can leave any insight. I know my guy, he has to be in bed by 9 o'clock. He has his routine. So I would write his whole routine in here. But this is another area where you can, again, make sure that your whole family is being cared for. And can you believe it? We're already at our review section. So, like I said, you can review all of your responses. You can edit every section that we just walked through. Um, you can jump right back in. You can update any of those charitable distributions. Your summaries are always going to be shown right there as well. And after you're feeling secure and good about it, you can save and continue. And then you are essentially done with your will, which is so exciting. So you can download your will. You can also email it. So you can email it to your executor, for example. You can email it to loved ones just so that, they're aware that they are a part of your plans. And then we also have steps in finalizing your will. So, depending on what state you're in, you will download it. You can consider other documents and then have your estate plan signed as a notary. And just as a call out up here, our wonderful In Defensive Animals, providing this resource for y'all, have given you their information from Nicole's email address, phone number, and then estate planning guides with helpful information. So you're able to get in contact with them as well. All right. Thank you so much. That was our walkthrough of our FreeWill tool. Pretty easy, right?
I mean, certainly that was, yeah, just sensational. Thank you so much for taking the time to walk us through it. And I'm sure that everyone will be just as kind of shocked as I was that this is so easy. You've made it so easy for us. And I just want to say a big thank you because I know that a lot of people really do worry about this. And it plays on your mind. It's like, oh, well, I'll get round to it someday, or I don't need to think about it now. But really, we should just get it done. And I know that I feel a lot better for having it off my mind. And I just couldn't believe how easy it is to do. So thank you again for making this great tool. And I see that we've had some fantastic questions coming in, a lot of questions actually. So I think we should definitely head over to our Q&A section, and my dear colleague Mary will be taking it away for us from the. I think we've got some questions in the Q&A section. We also have questions in the chat itself.
Yes. So I tried to save as many of them as I could. So there's these questions in the Q&A, and I also have a few saved in a notepad. So let's get started. I think this first one actually might be easy for you guys. Is FreeWill in addition to a regular will?
I can jump in here. So when you use the FreeWill platform, it creates a legally binding will. So it's not separate from, it is the document that comes from your FreeWill, the walkthrough that you do, it creates your actual legal will. It's legally binding in 50 states and the DC, the District of Columbia. So it's not in addition to, it becomes your will.
It's the whole thing.
It's the whole thing. It's the kit and
Awesome.
caboodle.
All right, so this other question says, if I set money aside for my animal companions to be taken care of, what is the process to ensure the money is used for their care?
I can jump in. So what's generally recommended would be setting up some sort of like accounting to ensure that the care is appropriate. So as Catie mentioned, you would want to kind of look at making sure you think about the life expectancy, what kinds of medical needs they have, what kinds of food they have, and you want to itemize that as much as possible and have that listed out as much as possible. And you want to leave really specific instructions. So whoever's going to be that guardian, you want to make sure you leave in, specific instructions rather, and then create a process for checks and balances. So that can be the day-to-day caregiver and custodian of the animal, guardian, working with a trustee or the executor so that there is a little bit of checks and balances there. Those would be some quick suggestions we'd make.
I can put together 2 more questions. So thank you for that. Is this tool legally binding in Canada? And is it legally binding in Puerto Rico?
Thanks, Mary. It is not for use in Canada. It is not for use in Puerto Rico. So we are right now working with the 50 states and the District of Columbia. So we have regularly looked at expanding outside of the US, but currently we are focused on properties and individuals based in the US, the 50 states and the District of Columbia, not all of the US territories.
Thank you so much. And some people noticed the drop down that you used to select the nonprofit to choose, and they got curious. What if the nonprofit they're looking for is not on the drop down? And they were also curious, how does a nonprofit get on the drop down? Those are 2 questions. They were worded very similarly, so.
I can jump in on that one. So your first question of what if you don't see your nonprofit or someone you want to leave a gift to on the drop down? You have an opportunity to manually enter them in. So I would recommend having their EIN number on hand, having their address and phone number, but you can manually add in a nonprofit you'd like to leave a gift to. And Mary, what was your second half of your question? How to get
The
added?
same question. It's just asking how does a nonprofit get on the drop down? So there's concerns about just summarizing of what does it cost the nonprofit to get on the list, or if it like costs us something. So people are concerned with you know, if it costs extra for the nonprofit. So someone was asking if we are like getting rid of something in order to accomplish this task.
I will say this is our partnership we have together to have your name added to their site. You know, in Defense of Animals, you'll have your own tool. But Nicole, is there anything else you'd want to add?
Yeah, I think I would just say the cost varies. It's really hard to say specifically because just like in Defense of Animals, there are different kinds of things that we do for our partners. And so each organization has the opportunity to find the partnership level that works within their funding structure. So we really work to make sure that we're offering the right services to the right organizations. And obviously, our nonprofit partners are the ones who are making those decisions.
Got it. Thank you so much for answering those
Yeah.
questions. I saw that the chat's also still going, so in case I missed something, I'm very sorry. But there is this question, which I also have. This person wanted to know, is it necessary for the free will to be notarized? So you basically give us the hard copy of the thing that can be notarized, and we have to take it to a notary? Is that how it works?
So we recommend all free wills are notarized. All wills drafted with free will are notarized. What that does is it creates a self-affirming affidavit, and it allows the probate process to go a little smoother. It's not legally required in every state, and so when you walk through the free will tool, when you get to the end, you'll get those instructions like Catie mentioned, and they will tell you if it's required in your state or not. But we recommend multiple witnesses and a notary for all, just because we know that that's one of those pieces that will make the ultimate estate administration and probate process a little smoother.
Makes it easier. Okay, thank you. Here's another question that was about the example that Catie did. Says, based on the example, what would happen to your beloved animal companions if your husband predeceased you?
Yeah, that's a great question. So, in that example, I probably would have, some friends. I'd have multiple people as my pups caretakers. But if, my husband predeceases me, then I will, I'll be his primary beneficiary and I will take ownership and be that executor for him. But other than that, all of the beneficiaries of primary and secondary and tertiary, they all line up together just in case someone can't receive that gift. Then there's another beneficiary in line.
Okay, so kind of your documentation and his documentation kind of agree with each other.
Exactly.
But
And
that's going to be separate in free will, though. You're not going to be able to connect or anything, so that would be a lot.
correct. So in Free Will, one of the really nice features that we have is you can have a mirror will. So I entered in my husband's information, and at the end of when I'm completed with my estate plan, and if my husband and I have the exact same, intentions of where we'd like our gifts to be and our beneficiaries, I can select a mirror will. It'll create basically a mirrored copy of my estate plan for him, but with me as the primary beneficiary. So I do think going through that example, I had that in mind. But yes, that was a great question.
Yes, thank you so much. Okay, here's a more specific one. If most of your assets are in IRAs, or I would assume any other kind of separate thing that isn't just an account, how can you have this money take care of your animal companions? Is that possible?
Yeah, that's a great question. One thing that can be done, and again, want to remind folks, talk to your own advisors, of course, but one thing that can be done that I have done with my husband is you can designate a portion of your IRA to move into your trust or to your estate plan to be used for this. So in my case, we have a trust. I've designated a percentage of my IRA to go into that trust. And then within that revocable living trust or within the will, I can designate that those funds be used for the care of my pet companion.
Awesome.
So that's one way to accomplish that. There might be other ways depending on your financial situation, but that's one way that I think could be considered.
Thank you so much. Okay, so here's one more question. I think we're doing great on time, by the way. You guys are so fast about answering these. We're actually getting through them. So this question is about AI. People want to know, how much free will is going AI, or if it will be a combo between human and AI.
I am so happy to answer that question. Free will is staffed by people, real life human beings like myself, like Catie. We do use AI for things that can help us become more efficient. But we still have writers on staff, we still have trainers, we still have strategists like Catie, myself, our product team. So we are not going full AI. You know, we believe that technology obviously can be used to improve the human condition, the condition that we create for our beloved pets. But we do not believe technology is replacing people. So no, we will never go full AI. We will always be people running the machines, not the other way around.
Yeah, no Skynet. Thank you. Wonderful. All right. So maybe you've heard of this, maybe you haven't, but just in case you have you heard of an organization that might exist out there that will care for animals? Like you can put them in your will for somehow when you're running out of options?
Yeah, I saw this question popping up, and I think it's a really great question because, you know, families are sometimes getting smaller. Folks don't want to take on the responsibility, and that's really important. So one of the things I think could be done is looking into like a pet rescue, like a rescue organization that, you know, might be able to assist. Obviously, some of these will likely have cost to them, which is where you want to allot that those allocations. Um, there are other organizations that might be breed specific, might be humane societies. And yeah, I think, Fleur, you might have some additional resources or some thoughts on this.
I would say that I know that in certain circumstances, it has been, you know, we've definitely received this request before. So it's something that it's not a unique question, and I would say that we have our very own in-house expert who is actually also here on the call today. We didn't get a chance to introduce her yet, but her name is Nicole, also another Nicole, but she's IDA Nicole, and she is also very good. She's an expert attorney who has been doing this. Also, she's got, you know, years of experience, and she can answer pretty much any questions you might have, certainly related to animals. Anything on the animal side, come to us. So it's Nicole at idausa.org, and I will drop her email address in our chat box here.
Perfect. So glad to have the experts on the line. Thanks, Nicole. Thanks, Fleur.
Any more questions, Mary?
Reading through, and I think we've covered most of these. Let me check my notepad document. Oh,
Maybe
here's a good
oh
one.
yes, go ahead, because
Yeah.
I want to also wrap up with there was something that kind of impacted me a lot when it kind of made me realize how important this is, and I'd love to keep a couple of minutes for that. So, but Mary, last question, go on.
They're good at answering these questions. So
I know.
This one is about privacy protection. I think someone else also said, how do we know what's happening with our data? So that was a question that came up at least twice. So
Yes. So I'm happy to drop a link in the chat. We do have privacy information and security information on our website. I will tell you, again, people run the machines and not the other way around. So I don't understand all of the privacy and security language because that's not my area of expertise. But what I can say is our data is encrypted, it's backed up. And again, I'll drop this in the link. But we really do pride ourselves on user privacy, accessibility as well, and security. We don't share individual information with nonprofits. So any individual that uses the FreeWill platform, That information is not shared even with our nonprofit partners, sorry, Fleur and Mary and Bob and Nicole, unless the user gives us permission to share. We only share what users give us permission to share. We don't share full estate plans. We only share indications that a nonprofit has been named. And so security is absolutely something that we really do focus on and we take very seriously here at FreeWill. So we don't share, we don't sell data, we don't share user data, and we don't even share anything our users don't give us permission to share with our nonprofit partners.
Thank you so much, Nicole, and thank you, Catie. You've just been doing an absolutely wonderful job of answering all of these questions. And thank you, everyone who's joined us today, for being so engaged. I see somebody had one last question about the slides. Yes, this meeting is being recorded. It's actually being live streamed as well, and it will be up on our YouTube within an hour, I'm hoping. So we will be sharing the link with you via email. But I did want to close on one last thing. Let me see if I can share my screen and share with you something that kind of made a big impact on me. So when I joined in Defense of Animals, we had been running Hope Animal Sanctuary in Mississippi for 20 years. Now, Mississippi, as you know, gets a very poor reputation. It really cannot afford the most basic care for animals. There are animals being abandoned on roadsides, literally in ditches. We've had cages of animals like dumped at our gates. We have animals chained out in all weathers, animals starving. It's a horrible situation. It's why it was our first, I believe our first sanctuary that we established was in Mississippi because the need was so great there. And when I joined, it was really dilapidated. It was kind of falling to bits. It was not fit for purpose anymore. It'd been doing a great job and helped many animals, but the impact of a legacy was really felt there. And thanks to, this is a plaque here on the left for Odette Gross. Now, because she named In Defense of Animals in her estate plan, we were able to completely refurbish and update Hope Animal Sanctuary. And honestly, when I say refurbish, I mean it was a complete change. So the old site was on one side of the road. The new site, which I hope you can see here, it's kind of small, but it's on the other side of the road. And all of our donors, we thoroughly invite you to come if you are down in Mississippi, anywhere near Memphis. It's about an hour south of Memphis. Come and see, because we really now, because of the kindness of Odette Gross, because she wanted to continue her legacy of love, we were able to keep serving these animals for another 20 years. So, and these are just some of the animals who are benefiting as a direct result of somebody leaving a legacy in their will, Odette Gross. So I'm very much aspiring to be the next Odette, and I hope that you will be too, because it's really it's a really powerful thing that you can do for animals, maybe the most powerful thing you can do for animals, and give yourself peace of mind at the same time. So there you have it. That's our October fireside chat. We've really enjoyed having you. Thank you again to Nicole and Catie of FreeWill, and thank you to my colleagues Mary, Nicole, and Bob. We were so grateful to have your ongoing support, and I hope you'll try out the tool. Thank you.
Thank you so much.